every mistake I've made while leveling towards 100 in one video. The first one is going to be not looking around for blue missions before I start doing dungeons. I've done every dungeon in the game, but there's plenty of missions that are literally sending me to dungeons. So at this point, I'm getting nothing for doing the dungeons, no codex rewards, no renown, just the experience from doing the dungeons. So get all of the blue missions you can beforehand. Number 2 is literally happy in this video right now, not going to the world bosses when they show up or forgetting about them. There is no announcement in the game for these, so you literally have to look on the map consistently in order to see them, and the world bosses will give you legendaries, all kinds of good things, so don't miss your world bosses. I have made it barely in time for this world boss. There we go, boss is completed, and now we get to get ourselves some nice loot, and we get ourselves an easy ancestral, and we get to see if we got an upgrade today. Not an upgrade, but I'm glad I went. Number 3 is forgetting about Hell Tides. You need Forgotten Souls. These come from Hell Tides, which show up on the map randomly. You can see there is one right here. If you ignore these, they're only up during certain times. And people very often keep telling me, well, I don't like PvP. The Hell Tide has nothing to do with PvP. These are zones that just have minions in them. You farm, you get these Forgotten Souls, and the Forgotten Souls are what you use both to upgrade your gear to the maximum as well as reroll your enchantment. So if I wanted to reroll the willpower, for instance, I would need a Forgotten Soul to do so, and now I have a 10% attack speed, which I like much better than the willpower I had on these gloves. So do not forget about Forgotten Souls. And just so you can see this, upgrading items to the maximum takes these same Forgotten Souls as well. And you need 6 of them for a weapon, so it's quite expensive. You can see 2 of these with the gloves. I'm actually going to get attack speed bonus, critical strike damage bonus, and lucky hit bonus from that upgrade. So that's actually a pretty big upgrade just by getting those Forgotten Souls. And those Forgotten Souls will be your stopgap, your bottleneck for upgrades. Here's another big upgrade. Look at this, 1%, 1.4%, movement speed even. So I'm going to take all of those while I can. Number 4 is probably not carrying Whispering Keys with me at all times. I don't think this is a big deal, but there's a lot of dopamine to be had. Basically, these Whispering Keys here, these things are only cost 20, and you get these silent chests around the map as you're walking around. And the silent chests aren't even really that good, but what's honestly annoying about it is you'll see this chest, and you're like, a chest, it looks shiny, I want it. And you'll try to open it, and you're like, I don't have a key, damn it. And then you're not going to go back to town because it's a loading screen and all that, so you just forget about it. But then in the back of your head, you're like, I wonder what was in it. Honestly, just load up on some of these. Do a few events, just load up on them. I'm not saying that these keys are the best thing in the world, but like it will make a better experience in your game. Number 5, I think, is one that we've all done, which is forgetting to upgrade your potions. Your potions actually do upgrade, and look at this. I need Forgotten Souls again. So the Hell Tide is required to upgrade my potion, and look who doesn't have it. So literally, I'm getting trapped into the exact same mistake. It's perfect for the video's sake, but I'm getting trapped into the exact mistake I just told you guys. Number 6 is one I've mentioned a lot, but it is worth repeating. That is placing aspects too early. If I get a perfect row such as this one, I place it on just a minor upgrade until I get more of a major upgrade, therefore wasting the aspect. You cannot extract imprinted aspects. Once you use an aspect once, it is 100% consumed and will only be on that item. For that reason, be careful with them. Speaking of aspects, number 7 is going to be using the wrong aspects on the wrong type. You see, offensive aspects, the ones that basically increase your power of your character in terms of offensive capabilities, will only go on one-handed, two-handed, gloves, amulet, and rings. But the ones that are utility will go on helmet, chest, boots, gloves, and amulet. Because amulet gives a 50% power, and because gloves are also offensive aspects, using utility on these slots, for the most part, is a mistake for most of the builds. Not 100% of the time, but a lot of the time, this can actually be a crucial mistake, as you need basically all the offensive ones to go on the offensive spots for your character, as those are the ones that are typically more important for DPS output. There are a few builds where this is not the case, but just keep it in mind. The reason the amulet is also so important is because it stores basically the most amount of aspects and gives you a 50% bonus to your aspect, whereas the weapon, if it's a 2am, will give a 100% bonus. Number 8 is picking up every legendary item. This might be a weird one, but if you're actually trying to speed run through stuff, just don't pick up your legendary items until you have 10 of them, because your legendary items will actually go to your stash if you don't pick them up, and it will save you time while you're like farming. You pick up one item, you read the status, I have an upgrade, no it's not. You can do this all at once. Just wait till they go. They'll go into your inbox. You can now go look at them all at once and see that's a good one, that's a good one, that's a good one. and you can either right click to bring it to your inventory, so you can go salvage it, or you can left click and put it within the actual inventory of your box, therefore filling up the box just like that. So just a little min-max tip. Number 9 would be not getting the altars of Lilith when I did the waypoints. You see, what happened was I went through the story, got lots of waypoints. I ignored all of the altars of Lilith while I was walking around. And because of that, when I went to go do the altars of Lilith, yes, I had the waypoints, but I also was literally backtracking, and it cost me easily additional hours. So for this reason, there is an interactive map I've talked about many times on this channel. I will once again post a link in the pinned comment. When you're doing the primary story, just keep one eye on that tab of interactive maps. You're like, oh, this story is really close to this altar, so you can divert. If you're like walking right past here or something for the primary mission, you can just hop up here and grab this altar. This will save you a lot of time in the long run, because one of the first things you want to do as soon as you complete the campaign and have your horse is you want to run around and get all the altars, as all of these stats are massively important. Number 10 is a little bit of a nuanced one for people that are doing generation classes like spirit generation, mana, etc. And that's not working on your resource generation as much as you're working on damage. DPS is actually a combination of damage available output as well as ability to output the damage, if that makes sense. So if you do not have spirit or mana generation within your build, mostly this comes from rings. Sometimes it's going to come from Paragon boards. As you can see, I have maximum spirit on kill here as well. And then sometimes key passives, things like that. If you do not have a focus on that and you're always drained, you're not doing a lot of damage, are you? All right. And I'll throw in as a bonus tip on this one, same thing with damage reduction. If you're dead, you're not doing a lot of damage either. So the other parts that are keeping you alive and generating the mana in order to actually do the damage are crucially important. 11 for me is not realizing gems could be upgraded, so I threw away tons of them. You can actually slowly upgrade these gems all the way. For instance, there are Royo gems now, so if I upgrade all of these, all of the previous gem types I have will now be upgraded, and it's been data mined. I showed in a previous video that there's going to be even more gems coming to the game, so don't think that once you have all of your flawless gems or royal gems in each of these, you're like, oh, I'm done. We're not done. There's apparently going to be more is what the data mine is showing, and these gems are going to be important, so I'm going to put my resources into leveling them. And of course, your 12th mistake would be not visiting the live stream, as we have a pretty poppin' live stream every single day here at twitch.tv/DarthMicrotransaction. This will be in the pinned comments as well. I would appreciate y'all coming by. I am loving live streaming. I fell in love with YouTube years ago, and I'm falling in love with live streaming now that there's more than just me and my mom watching me. And it's actually very exciting to get a chance to talk to you all. People have been buying the horse skin through there, and there's been a lot of support. So thank you very much for all of that. And come by, ask a question. I'll do my best to answer all the questions and interact with y'all. It's been an absolute pleasure so far. So for me, thanks so much for everything. Hopefully these tips and mistakes I have made will stop you from doing the same thing. And I will see you guys all on the next Diablo 4 tips, tricks, guides, what to do, what not to do, whatever it is this channel has become. Bye-bye, everybody.